The FBI has had enough. And right now, with the State of the Union having just concluded, they are making sure that Donald Trump is exposed. They are making sure that Kash Patel is exposed. And they are making sure that this entire despicable regime is exposed. I believe there's a lot of FBI whistleblowers right now who are also working with Democrats on the House Oversight Committee to expose the Trump regime's cover-up of the Epstein files, their cover-up of the child sex trafficking ring. It's why we're seeing a lot of headlines like this right now. Just look at the front page of Drudge. It is not coincidental that this is taking place right as the State of the Union was happening. Paper bombshell. Epstein secret files in storage units across the USA. TikTok, Donald. The DOJ scrubs Trump from evidence. 53 missing pages from an accuser of Donald Trump who was alleging or is alleging that when she was a minor, she was sexually assaulted by Donald Trump. The Dems are launching a probe of all of this, and we're hearing from Democratic Congress members like Garcia that they are in contact with whistleblowers from the FBI who are giving them a lot of important information as well. Now, want to highlight a few additional facts here. So we're also hearing from FBI leaks regarding Kash Patel's despicable behavior. So they're leaking against Donald Trump and Bondi. They are leaking against Kash Patel. Here's one. There was two back-to-back stories on this. So number one, Kash Patel flights. One of the things that we are hearing about is agents with the FBI's Elite Evidence Response Team were delayed in reaching the scene of a mass shooting at Brown University. Remember when that took place in December because there was no FBI plane available. Kash Patel was in South Florida living it up at the time with one of the FBI's two available jets. Here's what Senator Dick Durbin has said. Whistleblowers within the FBI have revealed in the immediate aftermath of the murder of Charlie Kirk, the FBI's shooting reconstruction team was asked to fly to Utah to aid the investigation and process the scene. However, the team's deployment was delayed by at least a day because guess what? The Bureau plane and pilot shortage caused by Kash Patel's private flights. Durbin also says that Kash Patel misplaced priorities and poor management of the FBI's resources, including its aircraft, harmed the FBI's ability to respond to that shooting at Brown University on December 13th, 2025. Durbin says a source revealed Kash Patel previously said at an FBI field office meeting, if you have golf, hockey, fishing, or hunting in beautiful sites, you're going to see a lot of me. And so Kash Patel was bragging about using our taxpayer money so that he can gallivant around the country on these private jets. Here's how MS Now is reporting it as well. Again, he was in South Florida when one of the FBI's two available jets were not able to be used because they were flying him around during that mass shooting at Brown University. And Kash Patel saying, I dispute this allegation. I dispute this allegation. By the way, what is Dan Bongino doing? Remember the number 2 at the FBI, the deputy FBI director? So what's he saying right now? He's doing podcasts now because he is out. And you know that he knows where a lot of these bodies are buried from the Epstein files. And he's been spending his time cursing out Candace Owens. And so, I mean, you'll just see the panic on these people's faces. I mean, aren't you both like right-wing podcasters? And you'll hear them go, F you. There's harsh language here, but I just want you to see what the former deputy FBI director is doing right now. Here, play this clip.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Go fuck yourself. You demonic fucking scum.
So Donald Trump's own FBI leaking against him finally because they see all of the destruction that Donald Trump and his despicable regime are causing. I want to bring in right now the former head of the FBI field office. Can we bring him in? David Sundberg. So he led that Washington field office since 2023. He was pushed out by the Trump regime. In 2002, he joined the FBI. He rose through the ranks. He's formerly Air Force, former law enforcement. He's actually running for Congress in Maryland as well. Here's an interview I did with him because I want to get the perspective of this guy was the top guy, the top FBI official in Washington, D.C. He ran the field office. 1,600 agents and other staff reported to him. Half of them were agents reported to this guy. So let's bring in Dave Sundberg. It's great to see you. Dave's also running for Maryland's 5th Congressional District. You entered the FBI 2002. Before that, you were Air Force. Not a political guy at all. Never thought that you'd actually be really running for office. But, as I've said to a lot of people that have dealt with this Trump regime, I wasn't a political guy really at all until I was a lawyer, until politics hit me. And I was like, I got to do something, about what's going on. So we've got a lot to discuss, Dave, especially as thousands of FBI agents are either being forced out or quitting, and they just can't handle these conditions there. So I just want to get your first reaction when people were, just so people know too, the field office in DC has about 1,000 people there. Half of them are agents. So when you're the leader of that field office, you're supervising a huge amount of people that are at that office. So talk to us though, when you see that behavior, Kash Patel chugging the beer, the spokesperson saying he's not going to the Olympics, to me, the FU to the American people, Trump calling and mocking the women's hockey team. What was going through your mind?
Well, thank you very much. And I really appreciate the opportunity to be on. Let me start by congratulating both the men's and women's U.S. Olympic hockey teams for incredible gold medal wins. And frankly, my thanks, and I think all Americans' thanks, to all of our athletes who, in a difficult circumstance, went to represent our nation at the Olympics, which is such a tremendous tradition for us. And they're at the peak of their athletic careers, and I compliment every single one of them. I think there are two things that I see when I see those videos and what's happening, and frankly, the first is I'm embarrassed for the FBI, and the second is really that it doesn't appear to be new. I'm not surprised to see something like this again. The FBI I was in kind of lived under a golden rule of not embarrassing the agency. And I think that's important for a number of reasons, and especially important when you talk about the senior leaders of an organization such as the FBI or any of our government agencies that carry such heavy responsibilities. And that is that people watch what you do all the time. I learned that lesson as I came up through the FBI. As you mentioned, I started in the Air Force, and then I was a local police officer and detective before joining the FBI, where I spent more than 2 decades before taking over as the head of the Washington field office, where we worked some tremendously important cases. And I knew every day that all of the employees of the FBI, and frankly the public, were watching how I conducted myself and what I did. And fairly, they were also watching the things I didn't do, what I wasn't attending to, or what I didn't think was important. And that matters because the reason the FBI is able to accomplish this mission is because it has the trust of the American people. And we may be losing that trust. It is very important at the end of the day for an FBI agent to be successful, to be able to get victims or witnesses to talk to him or her with honesty in times that may be really risky for those people. And they've got to trust that this FBI agent they're going to talk to, who, could be out canvassing a neighborhood, doing interviews to find the kidnapper of Nancy Guthrie, or could very importantly be working a case we should have in broad, under open conditions, working with the state to investigate the use of force by ICE agents that led to the deaths of Renee Good and Alex Preddy.